guys? What's up, Mira? I was out playing soccer, and normally I leave by 7 to make it here at 7, to be ready by 7:45. And somehow it was 7:16, and I was like, "Oh God!" And I got to my car, drove home, took the fastest shower of my life, stuffed 2 tacos in my mouth that I'm feeling because I literally 2 minutes ago I was shoving tacos in my mouth trying to have sustenance. So it may be a slow start here, folks, but let's get into it. What up, Purple Tiger? What's up, Taryn? Paul, hello. Ryan, what's up? Welcome in, guys. Accidentally popped in vertical. Hey, y'all, hello. Yep. I think David was over there, too, for a second. Paul's over there. Yeah, I mean, Ryan's over there. We do have normally I post this over there to let people know that this is the vertical. So I say full screen stream, and then I paste the link and I pin the message over there in case people wish to to pop over yonder. What's up, Bound Bob? What's up, the Lettuce Dragon? Emma Duke, hello. How's your tacos? I think they're fine. There was no spice on these. What's up, AK? Yeah, no spice on these. What's up, Candle Gal? They were just regular old tacos. Just some beef, avocado, cheese, what's up, Tabasco? Good tidings to you as well. And to you as well. I'm waiting for my surge of energy post-soccer, so a little bit of a slow start potentially, but I am here. Put the notification on for the vertical stream, so I was pretty close to accidentally opening that stream. Yeah. Looking forward to tonight. The bird rescue team is in a lot of trouble. I fear for Cadogan too. The spy team might also be in more danger than we think. Yeah, Cadogan definitely in danger. The bird rescue team definitely in danger. However, given in the trailer it shows them finding Mara, it looks like, I guess there's not much more danger between then and finding Mara, because I imagine they wouldn't live through another full-on encounter very well. So yeah. My guess is they're gonna find some things that I meant to do a video on it, but I'm a lazy bum. But I had so much stuff written out. I just about had a script. Let me see if I can find what I had. That's not it. Where did I put it? Did I put it in a notepad instead of in a Trello board? I had all this for notes on potential things. So Luxter over on Twitch says, watch your Critical Role TikToks and YouTube videos. I'm so hyped for this episode to give about a 30% chance someone dies. I think it's definitely there. I had again, I should have done a video on this. This would have been a great video, but I just was so busy. And then yesterday I was just a sack of potatoes. I said, could it be the first player deaths? Dungeon designed for potentially 13 players. He did say that. That, he designed this for the idea that 13 people could show up. They have very limited healing. They've already used healing. They have no way to fix strength loss currently. Thimble dies from 1 hit to strength, basically. She has a 50% chance of death from that. Multiple members are already weaker on attacks and damage because they've already taken strength loss. And he said only the doorstep, right? That's all they've done. So I'm all of those are the reasons why first player deaths are certainly on the horizon. But I said potential solutions because I do think Brennan's not going to kill them in here. Not multiple, maybe somebody dies, but I don't think it's going to be it's a TPK for that party. Potential solutions. They try to escape prior to return of Tkonus, not pushing further. Clearly that's not going to happen because they already went to, we saw in the trailer that they get to Mara, right? She's chained up. Brennan gives them a tool such as potions that replenish strength and health, or an object that wards off or aids in controlling the dead. That's one option to get them through it. He lets Octus embrace some of his family and therefore control some of the dead. The next one is, it becomes easier suddenly and they make it tomorrow who once freed saves them. I'm leaning towards somehow it goes from you only made it through the doorstep to, okay, you basically make it all the way tomorrow with no other problems. And then the last one I said, Brennan pulls punches majorly and lets them essentially get tomorrow with no more issues. So those are all, like, again, I listed out the reasons why that party should probably die. I don't think they're going to, and I listed out solutions as to how I think Brennan may get them through it, or they may manage to get through it by something Brennan gives them. I don't think the players on their own can get through it if it was actually designed for up to 13 players. That's my take. Is that if it was actually designed for up to 13 players, and if it maintains, right, that room was difficult for them, right? Like, it tore them up. So if you're like, okay, if it maintains that level at all, I feel like they just lose, right? But I don't think they're going to. I think one of the things that I think is most likely is that Mara, they're going to get to Mara and they're going to free her and she's going to be able to provide some much needed firepower and spells. Yeah, that's one of my big guesses. Craig, thanks for the description on YouTube. Let me catch up on some chats here. Praying nothing happens to bird watchers. Yeah, same. I'm scared for tonight's episode. Same. I think I saw somebody say, because I was just going to respond to them when they said, also space, hello. City honors, hello. I thought I saw somebody in chat. So, Jay, what's up? Say something like, bingo question mark. And I was going to say, well, it's, we're just waiting to see if Jaded pops in and wants to do it again. But Jaded is here. So, what's up, Double? What's up? Yet it is. Dragon on the, can we watch the trailer? I may pull it up at some point. Host like 20 games this week? No, I hosted 4. I hosted 4 games this week. But it also stopped me from putting out YouTube videos that I needed to put out. I played in 4, or no, I'm sorry. I ran 4 games as a dungeon master and also played in a game. So I had 5 games from like Wednesday to Sunday. Something like that. I don't think you can say you're lazy. You just played a soccer game right before this. That's fair. Oh, there it is. Space Cadet said, bingo, question mark. Tayor's bracers. I mean, is that really gonna, I don't know. Maybe they have something extra. They literally need to escape somehow. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. But it's like, if they're also going to go through tomorrow, which they are, then you're like, how does that happen? Yeah. I think he said 13 players just as wake-up call for everyone, including viewers. Well, I don't know, because he said, like, I designed, when it was hard, he was like, I thought 13 players could come in here, so I designed, like, I feel like, no, it may not be straight up, there's 13, why'd that go over there? It's made straight up for 13, but he said up to, so I'm sure he'll make some adjustments. I just don't think whatever he had when those groups were made, like, right? So I think he had something planned. And then they said, hey, here's what we're going to do. We're going to send 7 players or whatever, 5 players to the theater instead. He went, oh, and then he somewhat adjusted the Draconis, right? I don't think the Draconis estate is the same as it was before they split into groups, because to be fair, that would just be bad dungeon mastering. Unless you're the type of person who believes like, nope, it was going to be stacked, so leave it stacked and let them die, in which case then, hey. Hoping Tyranny can save Cadigan. Yeah, that thing got a little wild. Oh my god, I'm thirsty. It's got to be MacGuffin that saves them, right? I think it's Mara. I think they free Mara, and Mara ends up helping them dramatically. Like, if she's a high-ish level druid, she can heal them. She may be able to cure some stuff. Ailments they have, add some extra damage potentially. I'm thinking if they manage to free Mara, she might be able to provide them with some much needed power. I understand why Taylor and Taisha swap places, but man would pass without trace have been helpful. Well, I don't know. Did they fail a stealth? Like, do you think that would have altered anything there? I think that tonight we may see our first death. I think it's the most likely. Hopefully more is a higher level once freed can clear the road. That's exactly. That's where my mind's at. There will likely be one more combat before Mara, in my opinion. I think there should be. I do. I think there should be, but maybe there's not, right? Like, because if you're going to say, like, it's just the doorstep and then it's clear road all the way to your destination, then it's like, you know, I think it's going to be Thumble. She already used 2 of her death saving throws. Oh, did she? I know that they used some of the, I mean, somebody did the dashed disengage. I thought that was Tayor though. Or maybe it was her. I know somebody did. But I didn't know she took 2. I thought it was just 1. And they need to be planning out party dynamics and composition before these major beats. True, I agree with that. How much do you think that would have changed things, though? Like, if they were still taking the same number of people, right? Like, what do you think? They bring another cleric for radiant? I mean, another paladin for radiant damage or something? What's up, Shadow? Get more than 1 major character per campaign max. I really don't think we'll be getting a TPK anytime soon. Well, this one could be different. This one could be different. Daniel, are you talking about, I think I just watched 7 last night. If we're talking about a specific campaign 3, it was either 6 or 7 I watched last night. I thought they were crazy for even trying this rescue. I mean, it made sense. We were like, hey, most of the Draconis are going to be gone, so maybe we should, but do you think the Shadow is pointing at Octus and the Ceramite crest as a sign they won't harm them? I don't know. I think, you know, he basically tried to say on that Nat 20 that, like, they wouldn't, because they can't damage Ceramite, so it's kind of like, we'll just embrace and accept, but I don't know past that. What level is Sid? I would assume, like, the same level. He's probably between 3 and 5. But I don't want to see how the play goes. I think Wick will show up with Granny and Toe for the play. They just got invited to a dinner, and Granny and Primus are about to have a one-on-one discussion, or have, like, a private talk. Right? So I'm not sure that they're going to be able to make it. I just want to say, you know, I don't normally come on here and say I was right, chat, but I was right. The play was not some massive casualty event with everybody dying and demons coming from the underworld and attacking everybody in Taconis, whatever. And I said, I feel like the players have been the ones pushing that, not Brennan. I said it last pre-show. I was like, the players are pushing that. Nothing Brennan has really said has lent itself to that. And then sure enough, he himself said, it's tough as a DM when the players are just creating this narrative and you can't say anything even though it's wrong. And I was like, yes, that's exactly what I was saying was happening. Like, word for word, that is what I was saying was happening. They created a whole thing in their minds, and Brennan's like, that's not at all that. And I know it's skipping ahead of chat. We say, play's not over yet. Don't care. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. Well, we need to get through the play first. No. Do we think everyone else will join the bird watching party? No, I don't. Because that would just be crazy to me if they, like, just got there. You know, they're all doing different things all around the city. That city's huge, by the way. We know that city's huge. I can't look at it to see exactly where everybody is right now, but it would take a long time just to do that. So I will be at my desk in 5, ready for bingo suggestions. There we go. Let's see. Hello, Holly. What I find exciting and scary with this campaign is death is final. Well, mostly, currently. Really ups the stakes and anxiety I have for the characters, Team Birdwatchers. I'm looking at you. That's true. With no real resurrection magic, it's just like, boom. You know, that's it. Taka Khan says, I'm guessing that Brennan scaled the difficulty down between sessions, but that it will still be hard for the group, though not impossible. Probably. Yeah, probably. 5 games. Nice. Yes. Well, I did my very first ever paid games for my community in the Discord. I had never run a paid game before, so I put up, and I had 13 people who were like, we want to play with you as a DM, or they just wanted to play D&D, and I was just, you know, the lucky person that got to play with them. So I ran 3 games for the community. We had 2 groups of 4 and a group of 5, and it was a really good time. If you're interested in that, there's a channel in the Discord. for it. And then there's also a reviews channel where people are leaving reviews of their time in my games. They can say negative, they can say positives if you want to know kind of what people are thinking about it. But I will be running some more. So if you're interested in those sorts of things, feel free to join the Discord. It's linked down below. What's up, Dispel? If Sid dies, Taylor might get revenge arc. Well, they've already had somewhat of a revenge arc. So, did you guys see the news about the Vampire D&D crossover? I did. Bingo made it fun last week. I had to pay more attention. Heck yeah, I'm glad. What is your favorite Sundered house and why? I enjoyed Einfasen a ton in this last episode. Otto was so awesome. He was spooky and like I'm really tough, and I'm showing that right now. You know, he had Primus on his back foot, so that one took Einfasen's up for me. Otto delivered in episode 29. Other than that, I mean, the Photarch, Granny Halavar has been awesome. So, yeah. The dungeon around probably killed them. They healed most of the damage, but still don't know how Shadow's made by candles, so anymore. Well, that's exact. So maybe they healed most of their damage, but then, like, they're out of healing. You know what I'm saying? And, like, their strength is still down. So they're, like, when you think about it, it's like, again, it builds upon itself. They're now less likely to hit because they have minuses to strength. They're less likely to get the killing blow because they're doing minuses to damage, right? Like, over time, they're going to be a little short on hits and damage, and it builds upon itself if there are more shadows. So, yeah. We do not, Boise, we do not know the purpose of the Tailors besides splitting the shadow. But they are creepy. Blair's sister is a wild card. Termina is a wild card. Yo, what's up, Kelly? What's up, WB? Can Mara actually heal them, though? Because we got told she can't transform out of wild shape. If she dies in 2024 or a 5.5e, you can cast spells in wild shape. You can talk in wild shape. Wild shape is great in that regard. You don't take new HP and then go down to yours. You just get temp HP on top of yours. But you can maintain the form all the way through your own HP. So you don't get knocked out of the form. But you don't get as much of an HP bump, but you do get some. And you can cast spells when in the form. So she can still do all that. Cat Against Cold open scene got me in the feels. I'm very curious about that, though. I feel like it's like, why would Primus kill his family and all that jazz, right? Taylor did desperate measures. Okay, then yeah, she shouldn't have 2 failed death saves, right? Also, I know I'm very far behind, guys. I'm going to catch up on chat here in a minute. This episode is going to tell a lot about real stakes for this campaign, or should this supposed to be a major house? I agree with this either needs to be like everybody is quite literally on the brink of death, or somebody dies, or I do think it lowers the stakes. Because they walked into something they shouldn't have walked in as weak as they did, right? Like, that is like, there is something there. Jaded says they are ready for bingo suggestions. So if you want to get into the bingo tonight and have your suggestion potentially put on a card, make sure to do that. Again, there's a bingo channel in the Discord as well. What's up, Era? Welcome in. Velos will be clutch here. I see Tyranny and Wick separate from the next arc. She rolls poorly for Cat. Well, she rolls poorly for Cat. Cat probably dies. So, who do you think is going to be level 5 in this episode? I don't know, but I imagine we actually get 2 or 3. Thimble was afraid she was going to die because of the shadows, but she didn't get badly injured. True. But if she does get hit by, a shadow, if there are more shadows and Thimble does get hit, literally 50% chance on that D4 she dies if she fails the save. What's up, Tahoe? Big Dog, what's up? And they may have a chance to short rest, at least get back hit points. A short rest, unless they find a way to do it for less than an hour, they're on a time crunch, and they've been told that, right? The players have been told they're on a time crunch. They can't sit there for an hour. What's up, Miros? Gonna be funny if he eats his words here. It's completely possible, but I don't think so. Does anyone think that Dakota's thank you dinner is another trap? I immediately was like, there's no way these guys were like, hey, yeah, we were behind your back and doing stuff, but you guys were too. Here, have some pie. Like, excuse me? Get that pie out of my face. I was right, too. I thought the play would be a good thing, and you did say that last week. We are so smart. Hey, you said it. It was mainly Murray. True. It's nice that they allowed the orcs to cross over, but man, on pins and needles, yeah. With everything else going on, and Brennan Lee Mulligan really set the CONUS main up for 13 players. He's a complete idiot. That would never happen. I would agree. He said up to, so I think he had levers he could pull to make it stronger or weaker. However, I don't know that he expected that so few would go, right? Because you can only make the manor of one of the most powerful houses in the game, but so weak, right? You just can't make it but so weak. You're like, oh, this was a cakewalk for the 4 of you to walk in to a place that is filled with dead and whatever, and just, you're good, you know? We left our powerful druid unguarded, so... Hello, Saras. True Dragon Drake on the without hand holding. The same thing too. I fear to be raised the rebellion, kind of a play, not a death and destruction play. Yeah, someone wrote my theory about afterlife, and that was beautiful. But what else can come through the paint? I don't think anything else can. The paint was the river, that blood river for Azgra, in which the souls of orcs were trapped. They freed them, allow them to leave the, like, nothing else is in there. Maybe Azgra. Maybe. I mean, I don't think so, but, you know, that would be, like, the only thing. They have so many, the problem is light and shadows, but they don't have they don't have much. Healing is better in 5.5e, though, right? Like, level 1 Cure Wounds is 2d8 instead of 1d8. Like, level 2 is 4d8. So it gets better, and if they hit level 5 and they choose Cure Wounds, they get a 3rd level or whatever, that can be good. Or wait, they're paladins. They wouldn't get 3rd at 5, right? I don't remember. Brendan said explicitly in the cooldown he wasn't going to spoil the play with an attack once they pulled off the ritual. Yeah. Hello, Holly Mac. Dean says, what do you think about the blood-soaked paint soaking into the stage? I don't mind. I don't mind the little flair of him saying, like, the paint is rolling out and then, like, all that sort of stuff happens. It's a lever the DM pulled. Was like, that thing cracks, right? Like, in the background, it breaks, the paint goes out. The play will be mortal. It's second showing because Mersat and Hal carrying them will be so crap it will kill everybody watching. What? Picturing spectral killer whales fly through the house around. Yeah, the orcas. Confession. Brendan's speeches were cool, but I was disappointed that Einfalls unfolded so fast to Draconis. No actual punishment, completely free. I think... So I also agree that it was like, he came out swinging, he was awesome, his speeches were great, and then Primus was like, hey, you guys are doing it too, and I'll kneel if you win. And then they were like, I guess we can kind of put a, like, when his the twin sisters were like, hey, let's talk about this later. The fact that everybody was like, yeah, that's fine. I was like, because I kind of agree. I mean, it's not like ruining it for me, because I can understand people being like, yeah, let's think about this. Like, this was a big reveal and they do have a point, but it was also like, meh. Bound Bob, thanks for gifting a membership. Thank you. I'm going to try to catch up on chat here. So I'm going to skip some messages, and if it's something that was super duper important, say it again. Dolgo says, wild prediction, we get a 4 to 5 player deaths that create a new table for the next arc, the Sundered table traveling through death. 4 to 5 player deaths that send him into the afterlife would be pretty crazy. Wild prediction is true. I think it was, no. So, Nikki, I don't know that the doors to Fairy were open. I think they were Fairy doors to the play, if that makes sense. I'm also a little confused, but I don't think the Fairy doors opened. Hello, Dealing in Fiction. The one-shots were amazing. Thank you. From Dead Cleric number 3. I'd love to play with you when I'm up and running with this new job, and if enough demand calls for UK-friendly time, I'm there. Yeah, certainly down if we get enough people who are down to do a somewhat earlier game on a weekend or something. We did a 12:30 game on Sunday, so that would have been. We did a 12:30 Sunday and a 7 o'clock Sunday. Fake Cone of Truth, Jimo's a lot. See, that's tough because it's another one where Brennan says she casts it and she knows that he submitted. And it's that, again, the death save thing I'm kind of down with when he fakes the death saving throw. The saying she casts it and she knows he submitted, that's more of an outright lie, but nobody checked it on her either. Like, somebody could have used detect magic to make sure the spell was cast, or at least a spell in that school was cast, and nobody did. But we don't know that. Maybe the Cormorants did, right? Maybe some other house verified it and we just don't know. I said I'm going to skip messages and then I'm just reading all of them. Show us that trailer. Okay. I'll get around to it. Hold on. Let's see. It was the main thing, right? It's just going to put me further behind on
For 70 years, we have been without empire. And in those 70 years, we bicker and quarrel. But let us not pretend the old throne of Oberdemia does not call to each and every lord and lady in this room. We work best together, for there are two games being played here. The game in this room and the game out there. They're playing.
See right there? They're all around somebody being held on that thing. Mind you, that is a humanoid form, but that is where I'm saying they clearly get to, unless this was the room with Dame Saramai. Is this the room with Dame Saramai? Wasn't there a raised part and then they went down and around this corner?
Two. If they win, the meanest oaf, the lowest beggar,
this is still Convergence,
most
Spooky.
mud-caked simpleton will be your equal. They will bury you in their dirt and call it freedom.
Oh my
if
God.
I am bested in our little game here by someone in this room, you have my word, I will.
Hey, Daniel, thanks for re-upping your membership.
And serve as House Taconis did serve for centuries. But we cannot take our eyes off them.
But we do see this, so maybe Cadigan's dead.
There. But did you not hear the Lady Royce's late husband and what he can still hear? We have much to discuss.
Yeah, so that might actually be the Dame Saramai room. So we haven't seen them get to the thing. So yeah, maybe they all die. They're all dead. All right, there you go. Now I'm going to skip ahead in chat to catch up. A cooldown clip was released early by accident. It sounds like they think the internet will be mad at multiple people after this episode. Oh, really, Marissa? Also, guys, don't forget, you can throw your bingo suggestions in the chat for Jaded. If you want to tag Jaded and get a bingo card. I love how Brennan twisted Belair's words by setting Terminate to help the houses to destroy them. Oh, yeah, that was so good. Where she was just like, oh, and if we put him in if we make them a god, we can kill another god. And then just like, boop, god. I was like, that was so good. That was so good. Ayazo's House on Voslin seems good. They seem legitimate. Serality says, I wonder if Cadigan is like a secret distant relative to a Sundered house, and that's why Daconis is there. Quite possibly. I just didn't do any prep. I agree, Nikki. Just because you're goth doesn't mean you're tough. That was a great scene. I loved that. Loved that. Hello, Brandon. Who dies tonight, then? I don't know who dies, but I think this is the most likely somebody dies. I think this episode is the most likely somebody dies. What's up, Batson? Poll for who in Birdwatch goes down, including Sid. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, let's do Let's do a poll on who we think dies in the birdwatching group. Who dies? I don't think I can do with Sid. They only let you do 4 options and YouTube polls, so there's no Sid on there. All right. And hello, what I want to know is whether or not the Cone of Truth is real. Okay, I just kind of touched on that. No idea. Yo, what's up, Red? Big excited for this episode. Eagle Vision says, via Aurora, what is most likely is that Primus Ticona's confession will make the rest of Sunder houses accelerate their own plans. Maybe. Or maybe it's the thing that actually brings all the houses together against the people, and then we actually have the campaign, is that they're fighting against the Sundered houses. Daniel says, I want to learn more about the Jodonox. Yeah, same. When they said that, I was like, we don't know about that, right? We don't know what that is, the Einfosens we're looking for. Dinglin Fiction says, during the play, Merzot's ghost transformed into celestial spirit. Might be a stupid question, but is it possible for him to become a god? He's on the path now. I don't think so. I think it was just like the flavor of like he's not undead anymore. He's a celestial. Fairy doors versus the door to fairy. I feel like the captions specify the spelling. Oh, totally fair. What's up, Rabid? Rick says, didn't Julian's shadow smile? Are true shadows capable of emotion? Are we looking at something different? It did. It on the wall, loomed above him, looked down, and smiled. Dark Design says, the thing that gets me about the speech at the end, he said he never had any desire to hurt anyone there, but he also opened up by demanding someone pay for Augustus' death. To be fair, yeah, and he was also still lying about that because he knew that had happened. Daniel with a $5 super chat. Thank you. What do we think will happen in the second half of the play? It feels like it would be a bit anticlimactic after the big ritual moment. I don't know that anything else is going to happen that's of note to the same degree as what we just got. Like, I don't think it's going to level up. That's my take. I think that was the big thing at the theater. I think that's what it was. I think the path between and the connection of the 3 places and the orcs being freed from the blood river, like I think that was the big thing. All right, I'm skipping. So again, if you said something very important, I will just say it again. Miss you Tuesday for Dungeon Masters. Wednesday. Yeah, I don't know if I'll continue to stream the extra episodes as much. I needed a day to just chill. I think 1 or 2 of the gods are still alive. I think Rami. Well, no. We were all thinking maybe Rami wasn't the trickster god or whatever, but then when asked, like, is she dead? Terminator was like, I know she is. You're doing bingo again tonight. Yes, we are, Mobius. Yes, we are. No one is discussing the fact that there's a new celestial and the gods are gone. A celestial will free will that isn't very. Oh, that is true. When he described them as celestial spirits, I wonder if that's the same thing. Like celestial spirit versus celestial. Right? I do wonder. I feel like they're different. This isn't like a walking celestial like the one in the basement. I don't think that's what he intended. Hubert, hello. Great to have you in. Oh, that sucks they revealed that, though, because that if they're all back together, then, yeah, that kind of blows. Let's try to keep that out so we avoid spoilers. Like, nobody else, like, mentioned that. The scene at the Hallowed Round was so good. I preferred the one at Via Aurora myself. Hey, girl, hey, welcome in. Yo, what's up, May? Bayless had a contact. Hi. I hate the thought of catting and dying so early. Robbie has been said to be the one who's gave Brennan the most in terms of backstory. I agree. I'm confident Sid might die, not gonna lie. I think that is the easiest panic. Yeah, I mean, that's the easiest to just be another NPC that Brennan can utilize to be like, oh, this is dangerous, somebody died, and it's just an NPC. I think it's quite likely. Julian dying would be poetic irony after his mother said, don't go get yourself killed in some dark dungeon somewhere. Oh, and then he literally goes and gets killed in some dark dungeon somewhere. Yeah, that'd be crazy. Well, yeah, Sarah, that's why I just said, like, when I read it, I was like, let's try to not bring that up. Where the F is the Ozzy soul? Very true. Very true. That is a great question. Where is his soul? I don't know, Sarah. I feel like Primus might be telling the truth about that. Like, I think he just wants to maintain that power. I'm not sure, though. Lionheart says, would it be possible if Cadigan's wife was a part of one of the other houses and was a target? I think it's completely possible. Yeah. Yo, what's up, David Williams? Blib Glib says, haven't been a huge fan of Belair, so I'm hoping he goes soon. Really? I've enjoyed Belair. I think Wick dies. In this episode, he's all the way over saved by his grandma. I mean, not safe, but what if the Ozzy is hiding in Julian's shadow? I mean, that's what I initially thought with the spitting on, but that was because I thought he was going to be an Echo Knight. I'd say because I've gotten so attached to the player characters, but I almost feel like someone has to die with the stakes being what they are. There is definitely a group, there is a large group that believes that in the situation, somebody does have to die or they're going to be disappointed. And I'm not the type, I'm never the type that's like, somebody has to die, but I can understand their point of view given what those players are in and all that sort of stuff. So I do understand that. I don't think any of the gods survived, but I think it might be possible to bring them back. I agree. Stephanie, hello, says, I get Peter Pan Shadow vibes from Julian Shadow, like the Pan Shadow needed to get be sewn back onto Peter. Maybe like Julian Shadow needs to be sewn on him or sewn from somewhere else. Oh, I like it. Bingo idea. Julian Shadow actually does something. Well, does smiling count? What's up, Loaded Honeybee? Why do we think Termin is Termin, not Rawlin? We don't really have anything. Yeah, it could totally be a lie or misdirection. 100%. Still variant. Yeah, 100%. On Celestial Ghost. I think it's they gained their wings situation. They passed to the good side, but nothing else got her. Yeah, I agree with that, Danny. Yeah, I think that's all he meant by it. Steven says, I'd be okay with Cat dying if he does something great with it and helps people. Okay. Do you have any theories about Wolfric's deal and his connection with Cat again? I think he just got him as a pup and he built a man-dog relationship with him. I don't think it's much deeper than that, to be honest. And I think Robbie's basically said that. Doesn't mean he wasn't lying when he said that in interviews, but he has basically said that. Could there be a chance the Ozzy joins for the second act? Yeah, always a chance. He's out there somewhere. Also legit think that Oz and his buddy is demoned up. Varen? Is that what you're talking about, Bill? Hello, Sam Myers. All right, catching up on chat. The Four and the Crips are screwed. They're definitely in a lot of danger. They are in a lot of danger. I like story and RP, but I need real game stakes to care much more. That's fair. Betting Catting in Death because during the teaser for the reward was in tears and she was in alpha. We haven't seen her in yet. Oh yeah, that trailer. The trailer we just watched. Yeah. Yeah, May. It wasn't something like that. There was an accidental release of something ahead of time and whatnot. So yeah. Paul, though, I think it was touched on that just like I don't remember the specifics, but he kind of answered it. It was just like a cool way to do a prosthetic. There may be a little story about like an item or something for his paw being like a spectral, but what he said was basically like it was just a cool way to do the prosthetic. That like they found, they like jerry rigged some magic to do this thing is kind of what he said, but that doesn't mean that like again that's the truth, but that is what he has said. Yo, what's up, Boneyard Mods? Hello, hello. Yeah, Baron. What was the line, Bill, that made you think that? Panic says also, or wait, hold on. I wonder if player characters that die will become part of the Oz's arm on the other side. That would be neat. I think it would depend on some things, but it's something that they could like kind of circle back on. But I think the last thing we need is more player characters. Is Daredevil a fighter or rogue subclass? It's homebrew. It's homebrew, and I believe it was fighter. He was level 2 fighter, 1 rogue. He took a 3rd in fighter, if I remember correctly. Or I don't even remember. I think that's what it is. But it's a homebrew, which is why we know nothing about it. Fighter. Yeah, fighter. That's what Critical Role Wiki or whatever says. It's fighter. How does Tyranny rescue Cadigan if she has to fend off 3 of her sisters in the Taylors? Yeah, exactly. Well, if they don't make it, I'm more worried about, didn't the Photarch say, take her to my son and have my son take, like, yeah, I don't think she wants to fight Goddard. No. Old blindfold, big-winged Goddard, I don't think you want to do that. Has to be more to the play, right? I don't know. I think the play is what it was. I don't think there was supposed to be some big, crazy, evil plan or anything. What if it's one of Tyranny's sisters who dies? I mean, it could certainly happen, but I don't... Oh, why she's crying in the thing they put out? Yeah, maybe. All right, let's look at the votes. 123 votes on who dies. We have 46% say Tayor, 37% think Thimble, only 3% think Octus will die, and 13% think Julian. So Tayor and Thimble are the 2 that people think will die most likely. Interesting. And yeah, guys, please throw your suggestions toward Jaded in the chat for bingo. Jaded will then look at all the suggestions, put them on a bingo board, and we will supply a link. You will then be able to, when you click the link, it will generate a random order of the suggestions that we've selected, so nobody will have the same card, or at least you shouldn't, because there's a bunch of different variations. And then we have a channel in the Discord for bingo cards, where you can share your plain one, you can share it when you have some filled in, you can share it if you get bingo. And it was very active last week with people sharing bingos and stuff like that, so... And all I would say is like the best way to enjoy it is to kind of just go with what everybody is like. If somebody asks something and 50 people say they don't count it and 1 person says they do, go with the 50 to try to keep everybody kind of on the same page, sort of thing. It's my suggestion. It's bingo. Play it the way you want to play it. Like, it doesn't matter. It's your card, but like, I just don't want to see people arguing about it. That's all. I wonder if it's Tyranny that dies, and that's why she's crying. It would be a very teaching moment, too. Ooh. Do you believe that Ionessa knew about Cadigan in his past when she talked to him about bearing weight, or do you believe she's just a cult leader? That's a great question. That is a great question. I didn't really think about that she made those comments to him. And then we found out about his past. Yeah, I don't know. That's a great question. As long as they're really outnumbered. Yeah, agreed, Daniel. Nobody dies. It's possible, Big Bunky. Tyranny has to choose between her sisters and Cat again. Be a tough choice. I don't think anyone dies. There's the 3 death rolls and the house rule to contend with. That's true. I would say it's definitely hard to die in D&D in general, especially 5e. 5e is very hard to die in. But some ways that people could die in there are also related to like the strength thing. You just die from that. There's not like a roll with that. Like if Thimble gets hit by a shadow and drops to and fails to save and he rolls a 3, she's just dead. You know, like that's it. Now, do I think that, again, in Brennan's game, he's the type that if anybody has inspiration or if anybody has whatever, they can all give something to let her roll again and do whatever? Yes, I think that will probably happen. Do I think that will also probably potentially save her? Yes, I do think that would happen. But you never know. Lettuce Dragon, I see you joined. You didn't select actual plays when you... Okay, never mind. You just did. Got it. I was just about to say I can add the roll for you so you can see the channels. Because that's where the bingo for Critical Role is. I saw somebody ask a question about bingo, and I lost it. Hello, Kaylee. Hello, hello. How is bingo shared? We put a link out. So once Jaded has it all done, we provide a link in the stream and in Discord where when you click it, it'll say like generate a thing. You'll click generate. It'll randomize the different things. So of course you get bingo this way or that, whatever way. And then we have a channel in the Discord for sharing it. So you'll want to, in the description, join the Discord, and then all of that is there if you want to keep up with what other people are doing. We're Critical Role fans and D&D. Of course, we argue about everything. Totally fair. Thimble really should have been killing it. Literally has the biggest body count in the campaign so far next to Valus. Yeah, I mean, I've discussed it a million times. Yeah, there are reasons for that are not intended, but she's still very good. Low-level rogues, especially swashbucklers, are insane. Trust me. I've played one like 3 times. I'm currently playing one every Saturday. I'm a swashbuckler rogue. I love it. So powerful. Vlad says, hi, what's Cat's wife? Was Chaconis let the family live with Cat or broke some family rule or just simply wanted to be with a commoner and Primus coded for that as a punishment? Completely possible. Yeah, there are a lot of theories or speculations as to who she might be. We just don't know. It's hard for PC to die in 5e, but also very easy to kill a PC in 5e once they're down to 0, if you keep targeting them. Dana with another $5 super chat. Thank you. Vox Machina season 4 episode 7 was a great use of horror in a fantasy setting. One of my all-time favorite episodes. It was good. I've been enjoying it. I've seen some stuff online about episode 9 being kind of crazy. I haven't seen it yet. No spoilers. Nobody put spoilers. But I am looking forward to it. I fell asleep, I think, as episode 8 or 9 started last night. Like I woke up and I was into the next episode and I was like, oh. I want to know mechanically how dying in the Chaconis crypt where the veil is based on. Oh, that's true, Marissa. It's not even like dying in a normal place. Like you're dying where the veil and the real world are like one and the same. Double negative in HP like you did with Octus. Well, that was a narrative death. That wasn't a real death. I don't count Octus's death as a real death. Never have, never will. That was a narrative death intentionally decided before the game started so that he could become the Hollowed One that he wanted to be. He had fully planned on being that. Brennan said, can I kill you in game? He said, yes, you can. And then at some point he did it. So to me, that doesn't count. But that is a way to die, correct? Which gets much harder the higher level you get because you get more HP, and then it's harder to go, negative by your HP. Right? Once you get 50 hit points, I mean, somebody's got, and you're at 15, somebody has to do 65 in a hit, right, to be able to take you down. So. Do you think Cadigan will betray the party for the sake of killing Primus? Sort of like, I think it's completely possible. I wouldn't be surprised about it. First time chatter, Billick says, despite all the talk about the world being unbalanced, Brennan is really not trying to kill the players. Yeah, I don't think he's trying to. I think if it's just like this is going to happen, it's going to happen. But I think he has been pretty leaning towards the side of like doing what he can to help them not die. Not easy to die. Tell it to my graveyard of level 1 and 2 characters. Yes, at level 1 and 2, it is easier to die because, again, one crit can knock you. And then if you get targeted, you can go down. But with the way that the system is built, dying when you're knocked requires the enemy to choose to keep hitting you. And a lot of DMs don't do that because your players have to be so okay with you hitting them while they're down. And so many players, in my experience, across many games, across DMing or playing, players do not enjoy when you knock them unconscious and then the next round you stab them. And then the next round you kill them. Like that's, So do I think that could happen? Absolutely. But that is not, I don't think it's crazy common, but I think it happens. And I think it depends. I mean, again, like everything, it depends on the table. Is Thimble still doing the thing wrong during combat? I can't remember what it was. Honestly, I don't know if she did it in this combat. As I was taking notes, I was just trying to hit the highlights. I basically like did a full of the first round and a half, and then I just kind of skipped to like they make it out, they this, that, and the third, versus like doing all of it. Octus can't die. He already did. He can be dead. They also have that self-help action if they go down unless they swept that house full under the rug. I wonder if he would allow that to happen on that, though. He let them do it with, like, not being paralyzed or something, or petrified. I don't know if he would be like, oh, on your death saves, you can give yourself the help action. I don't know. But maybe. I mean, because when you're down, I mean, you don't have a, I don't know. But it's been so, I don't think this has happened in a very long, isn't it when you're knocked in this game? Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure the homebrew with theirs is like they can choose to give a inspiration every round, but then they have to roll their death save, but they can also just choose to stabilize or something. Isn't it something like that? So is that what's happening at the theater? Ritual to save the Miyani? Yes. Well, I don't think it's from Taconis's control. I think it's just they were in the river. They were stuck in the river because Asgra was like, your souls have to move through this blood river or whatever. And then the demon, Soul Rekshi, basically turned it into something else that would allow them to be freed. And then the performance brought them all out. And there was like the triangle of points that were connected. So it freed the souls, but it was more so from Asgra's river, I think, and gave them like allowed them to go to like Fairy or something. Not like necessarily get away from Taconis. It's the Ozzy Soul coming back. No idea. Join Discord. Nice. Large Rink Bottom says Brennan wants his friends to have high stakes and feel powerful. House kids will have to leave after this play. They'll have to leave because the play is not over and anything can happen. We'll see if something else happens. I don't think anything more was intended to happen. I am of the full belief that if more stuff happens, like if suddenly something bad, it's because Brennan added it because the players all went there and he was like, okay, let me do something. I fully, again, he said himself, he had no intention of this. It was the players came up with something crazy happening there. That's not what his thing was, blah, 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 blah. So I don't know. I think that's it for the play, personally. Do you think anyone would go to reinforce the bird watchers? I don't know why they would. unless they learn something, which Brennan may, you know, it's completely possible. He's like, oh, you overhear this conversation or you whatever, but I don't know how word would have gotten out to anybody else. And they've talked about how huge Dothraki was when somebody was saying that they were going to walk somewhere and walk back. And he was like, oh, that would be like an hour each way. You know, like I don't think people can make it there in time while they're doing everybody's doing their own things at the same time this is happening. And then they have to also like end what they're doing and travel there. I don't think so. World RP idea. We all get the F out of Damakiar and set up base in Sloker Timmons Rock. I think having NPCs confirming kills on PCs can be done, but as a GM, you gotta telegraph that and set the stakes beforehand. And clearly, first time I ran a Goblin Stabby Stabber, I showed the players. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair if like it's very clear that that's something like that could happen. Yeah. Ghouls be bad for the bird watchers. Yes. Who's the voice beyond the darkness? That team, the one that was like warn our masters. I'm guessing it was just a voice, unless we're talking about something else. I'm guessing it was just like one of the shadows or something. It's a system, yes. And the way Brennan Lee guides the game, point being, he won't let the players' dice decide. He'll decide if it's the right time for a PC to die. Yeah, that's just so odd, to be honest. Like, he'll decide if it's the right time for a PC to die. Like, I think that, to me, like, if that's the truth, that's the part where you're no longer playing the game. Again, when him not requiring a roll for like the speech and all that, loved it. I think that's great. I think when it's just like the dice aren't going to decide, I'm going to decide when it's the right time. I think at that point you just decide it's never the right time, or else it's just you know what, I've decided Octus can die now. That just feels weird to me. Just curious, what kind of character would you make to join this party? Race, class, or general concept? I mean, they don't have a cleric. They don't have a cleric. I would say I would love to be a ranged fighter. Because I've enjoyed those. Or I love Swashbuckler Rogue. I really do. A bard. I wouldn't mind being a bard. But with this group, like looking at their party, I'd probably go cleric because they don't have one. It turns as death saving throw, desperate measures. When a character is at 0 hit points and making death saving throws, desperate measures provide additional options. A character can give heroic inspiration to another player within sight, allowing that player to reroll a d20. +2. If the character has no death save failures, they may choose to stabilize himself instead of passing out. Yeah, so that's the other thing. That also means that they have to be targeted, or at any moment they just go, I stabilize. Right? So even being knocked unconscious, you just go, I stabilize. Do you think half-elves exist in this campaign? I have no idea. Blip. I do not have an answer to that. Throw a magpie sigil in the sky. I mean, does it go... They're in the basement. They're in the undercroft of a manor. Does it go through multiple floors? Does it go through multiple sets of stone? And as far as I know, the people who can actually talk to magpies are not there in that group. Oh, that's true. Half-elves seem unlikely if Salandria controlled elvish reproduction. That's a great point, Daniel. That's a great point. But yeah, I think it would be silly if he allowed other people to show up. They're on a time crunch. They have not been there that long. They also went when the Daconis were leaving. So imagine, Daconis leave. Couple minutes later, they get inside. They immediately go down. They have a short combat that's like 20 seconds. They push in. Daconis are just pulling up. They're not even pulling up to the show at this point, right? To the meeting. So there's no way. There's like, it would be, like, I'm saying this with passion. It would be ridiculous if the people at the play or the people at the Sundered House meeting showed up here. It would just be like, it would blow my mind. Nexus says, how BA would it be to get a gloves off 1v1 with Cadigan and Primus? No weapons or armor, just best man wins in fisticuffs. Unfortunately, Primus probably beats the bricks off of him. One, you didn't say no magic, but let's assume no magic. Primus, if we assume all of them are double digits, his HP pull alone, yeah, he beats Cadigan down, I think. I think I'll make that choice by fudging dice or allowing rerolls or just making. Well, I'm not saying. So again, I'm not saying he won't. I just think I wouldn't like that. I don't like if you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to like not allow rolls to kill you, but then randomly I'm going to be like, you know what, today feels like a day Octus can die, and then you just are like, now Octus can die, like that. That's just odd to me. I get it because it's going to help the story moment. We're like, oh, if he dies at this moment to this one enemy, that can lead to whatever. But like killing players for that just feels strange to me. But hey. Yaw says the players focus too much on the possible threat associated with the paint when Brennan repeated and made clear multiple ways that the Oz plan and not a Skona's plot. Agreed, Yas. I talked about that a lot last episode. Our last pre-show. I talked about that a lot. I was fully on the camp of like there's not going to be some crazy undead uprising there that's going to like murder all the people in a giant combat or something. Looking at the Don't Mock Your map, Obermus Manor is closer to the theater, so there might be a chance for theater crew to show up to rescue them on the exit, to join them in the rescue. I don't think so. Yeah. Did druids even exist in this world? Yeah, I believe Dr. Talter was a druid from the Totality. I think that's where they come from. Rangefighter with subclass. When I did Samurai, but it was 2014, and I was doing the broken build where basically I would we were a higher level. I had, like in 2014, you take the sharpshooter, so it's -5 to get a +10. I had elven accuracy, and I would give myself advantage by using fighting spirit from samurai. So I would do that and basically have 3 d20s all at -5 of my, so if I had a +9, I rolled +4, whatever, it was. I think I had like a +11 because I had the archery fighting style, gloves of archery, all these sorts of things to help with damage and attacks. And then I would just be like, cool, 3 shots each, all with advantage, which means all 3 are with 3 dice, which means I'm critting more often. I'm definitely going to hit you. And then I'm action surging and I'm doing it all again. So I'm hitting 6 shots off the rip with a +10 damage on top of my dex bonus, on top of my gloves of archery, on top of, it was a bonkers build where like first turn, if I hit all 3 shots, no crits, I'm hitting you for like 160 or something. Oh, did I not say cleric? I'm seeing what you guys said. Yeah, he was, Dr. Talter was a cleric. Did I say something else? I answered it. Yeah, I was answering a question about cleric, and then I was like, Dr. Talter's one, but I guess I didn't say that. I'm sorry. Yeah, I answered, do clerics even exist in this world? And then I didn't say cleric. My bad. I'm very excited to see what else to play. But in terms of what fighter subclass now for ranged, I'm not sure because things have changed a bit. But yeah, maybe I do the same. I still like the idea that rangers are better at bow use than fighters, but unfortunately, that's not the way the game is designed. Very excited to see what else the play entails. It's only halfway through. Spirits are turning celestial. Yeah, load to be something could happen. I wonder that with Taisha leading the souls down the path, there will be more Asmars appearing spontaneously in the future. Probably still rare, but the new celestial nature could maybe do it. I don't know, because I feel like they're still just dead. Like they're just spirits who kind of got their wings. I think like somebody else, I think David earlier, I don't think it was like a literal, they became the same celestials that are in the basement, right? I don't think that's what happened. I think it was like the undead spirits got wings and they were able to like move on, And this party rogue for sure. I mean, yeah, I love to swashbuckler rogue. Dutch Archers, mechanically a cleric of the totality. There aren't clerics of the Shapers because the Shapers are dead. Yeah. Half-elf children. Oh wait, I didn't see the point, but now I'm realizing when you said that, is it because maybe it's like an elf with a human? Is that what you were going with? And they're therefore like they don't have to pray for that unless they do still, because like you're firing blanks unless I give you permission, sort of thing, right? Half those are my favorite. So I'm just curious. Yeah, it's interesting. Like they removed them in 5.5e as just like one in the book. You can still use it. You can still use the block from 2014. They've said that countless times. They didn't remove it. They just didn't include it in there. They included full orcs instead of half orcs. They included just full elves. They included the Asmar. They included the Goliath. So they added more to it, but they took the half species away. But they're like, you can still use them and they can still be there. It would just be like, you know, yeah. Would actually be pretty interesting in this setting. Warlock would be interesting in this setting, especially because we know that they're kind of hunted in a way, and stuff like that. Yeah. I would make a crazy Timonish barbarian who wants revenge on the Sundered Houses for working with Argosia. I feel like it would be funny going for King Gus while chopping up bad guys. Yeah, barbarian would be cool here too. They don't have one of those. Promise doesn't play fair to begin with, match or not. Very true, Pico. It would be season 8 Game of Thrones crazy if anyone shows up to help the bird watchers. That's one way to put it. A hound paladin? Oh, that'd be sick. I didn't think about being a hound. I'd love to play a hound. Lady Cormorant was around the same difficulty level as a dragon. I can't imagine what Primus is at. Yeah. Funny how all the character I dislike the most and now admire the most. Definitely trauma bonded with Cat. All right. Skipping ahead to catch up on chat. After a long rest, yes, Jonathan, they typically do. Yeah, most of the strength stuff, especially with the lower level monsters, you regain after a long rest. 70 says, thoughts for the future. Shadia means chanter and storyteller, and she is hero. Well, means hero, foreshadowing House daughters have a bigger purpose. Ooh, could be, or it could just be that Hal named them. And he's a storyteller about heroes. So, yeah, there's that too. But certainly possible. Hamza says, maybe the play would have been more dangerous if it was an end game arc. Like it being this early and having mass casualty in the crowd is pretty crazy, but believable at the time. Yeah. Said true, but that's okay. Okay, my bad. Do you think Tyranny's in the body of the woman Wook has a crush on? Absolutely not. That's been disproven like 3 different ways. Yeah. They were both in the same place at the same time. Like she said that she saw her. They were both at a theater performance. Like Tyranny and her were at the same one. And there would have been so many things that were like, you know, Wick held up the picture of her and Tyranny knew who she was and wasn't like, hey, that's me. What's up with that? Sort of thing. So I don't think so. Do we think that a big ritual happened in the Aurora? No. I think maybe they try to assassinate the houses with the food. I actually don't even think that's likely. I just think like that's a possibility. I guess that maybe they do that. Do you think the reborn? Well, there isn't one currently, right? Sadly, nobody's reborn. No reborn gods are there. Does anyone know where they moved on to? I don't get that part. Yeah, it sounded like Teferi. Like they said it was what, like between Fairy, the theater, and the afterlife or something, or it was a little confusing. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, Kelly, I don't think they can convince the dead to go do that. That would be crazy. Gotta go to work, so I'm a dip. Hey, peace out, Rick. Stinger says, very interested to see if Primus takes any interest in Wick now that he's back and with his family. We've never seen Primus interact with a fellow sorcerer player character. Oh, true, true, true. Technically, aren't all clergy of the light warlocks? Yeah, it is seeming that way, that they're actually getting their powers not from the filament technically, but actually through the, or at least we're thinking that, because basically the secret writing that Tyranny found was that those are like soul contracts. Does that mean they're getting their power from it, or just that their souls are given away? Not 100%, but it, yeah, I was leaning that way. What about a hound monk? Paws of Fury. That would be nuts. Dog just sits up on its hind legs. Just da, 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 da. Still really, really hoping Hannon does some BS detection insight check against the party, learn where Mara is. He would be so helpful. Yeah, he would probably be helpful. I'd love to see someone's next character be a hound. I wonder if Brennan would do that sort of thing. They would have to come up with a stat block for it, right? Like there's not one, so. Nurik says, I'd probably make a paladin or celestial warlock that's slowly merging with his patron or something of the like. Paladin? When did you be the what? Fourth paladin in that group? Rune Knight from an Einfasen vassal would be cared if I were there at the table. Nice. Like that. Like that. Do we think Haranis Halavar is too high of a level for Teor to 1v1? I would think so, but I don't know. I think Godric, yes. I think her son, like Wick's father, absolutely. I think he would drop his freaking blindfold and laser zap Teor in two. Dust of Deliciousness moment? That would be crazy, Marissa. Absolutely crazy. There's no indication that the demons are possessing bodies, but once a fan theory takes hold, it's harder to evict than a squatter. I like that. I like that. Radical says, why are we giving Brennan a pass on the world is the world when you're supposed to tailor challenge ratings to your players? For me, when players start dying, entire stories end. I don't mind the world is the world part if you make enough things clear and you provide some guidance. That's kind of like when Belair was like, I'm going to kick her down the stairs. And Brennan was like, she's very high level and you'll die, right? Like, setting the stakes that like Primus walked up and pulled the skull out of, you know, whatchamacallit, and they're all very powerful. I think that's an okay way to do it because that tells your players if you choose to run in and stab Primus, he's going to kill you, but that is your choice, right? Powerful beings exist in this world. Now, if he walks them into them, which is still the same reason I knew when Plaza Divinos got attacked in the Overture, I immediately was like, this is a narrative part. Because otherwise he kills all of them. They do not survive this. Every player that's at the plaza is dead right now. Unless this was okay, this is just a narrative. Octus is going to die. We're going to get the Stone of Night song. And it's like those sorts of things. That's all it was for. Because if they didn't just leave, right? If they didn't go, hey, let's leave the minions to kill them and you know, let's go, Ethrend, everybody dies. But I think that can be used to set the stage. But at that point, it's up to the players to know, like, hey, let's not run in and try to 1v1 or 1v3 at level 5, the Lord of a Sundered House, right? Like that sort of thing. I think as long as he's clear enough with them about what can happen in the world and like where the dangers are and stuff like that, I don't mind it that much. Is this New World? It is, Toast. It is. This is a new world after it was shut down. Octus was a reborn. Yeah, he's a hollow one or whatever. Since it's all prepared before the candle. Yeah, Taryn, that's what's so strange. It's like, oh, we made this feast as an apology for the thing that we didn't know that you knew that you ended up catching us in and that I looked upset about. You know what I'm saying? Like, that I'm upset that it got caught, you know, like, oh, we had this feast planned. Primus suggested that the houses would volunteer sacrifices for the 47 lords part of the next ritual, right? I don't remember that. Here's a message from Jaded. Hi all, put your bingo suggestions in chat for me to make tonight's bingo for us all to play. Still don't have enough for the full board, let alone variations. Come on guys, suggestions for bingo. There's also some from last week that could probably still go on there, right? Like some could be reused, but definitely make your suggestions for bingo. Tag Jaded if you can. Otherwise, just make sure to put bingo suggestion or bingo in the thing. And then we do have the channels in Discord specifically for that. So join the Discord if you want to partake in the bingo. I think Terminated did say they were making each other stronger. Yes, 100%. I think Tyranny could be Wick's crush. 20th level characters can change someone's body and alter memory. Not saying it's likely, but possible. Yeah, I don't think that's the case at all. That's not a theory I'd get behind. I didn't really get behind it as soon as they saw the picture and she didn't react in any way. And then more stuff came out that I was like, oh yeah, this seems very unlikely. Oh, I think there's a ton of Aramon lore, Eyeball Tiger, a ton. I think we'll see the doors open this episode. They aren't open yet, I think. What doors? Houndmonk, Step of the Wind is renamed Gets the Zoomies. Let's go. If Hal dies, it would be cool to see Liam play Shoddy. That would be neat, but Shoddy, I mean, it would be one of those interesting things where like Shoddy has no training that we know of other than a theater performance, whereas Hal at least fought in a war before. So it feels slightly more out of place, I guess. Bingo, someone thinks it's been a while. I'd want to be a warlock who works in the library at the academy. Ooh. Has stats for them. Maybe WB. I mean, I'm sure he has stats. That's different than player character stats, right? Like creating a stat block and giving them like a sniffing ability and giving them like a bite attack or whatever, a claw, a pounce. That's different than being like, oh, here's how you would make a character with it, you know? Sounds good, Shadow. Fell out of the trapdoor. My other device battery went too low. Hope I didn't miss much. No. Do we think the theater is going to get shut down? Will they do more rituals with other productions? I don't think we're going to get too much more of that. I don't see that like this all happens and then immediately Hal's like, all right, the next performance is in 2 months. Let's get ready. Like I don't see that happening. I think he's going to have to like join the fight, you know? Thoughts on changing rules of Portent? What do you mean, Kenzie? I don't think Cat dies here. I think he's infused with new purpose that will make him much more focused and dangerous. That's cool in theory, but his character sheet's the same. You know what I'm saying? His HP is the same. Armor class is the same. Radical says, thank you for responding. That was a genuinely thoughtful, interesting response. Good point about the Primus attack. Yeah, of course. I try to be. Yo, what's up, Mr. Malicious? It's offering to the algorithm. Oh yeah, I haven't said anything so far about it. Guys, if you are enjoying this, if you like Critical Role, if you like Dungeons and Dragons, give this video a thumbs up. It's a little thumbs up right below there. If you haven't subscribed yet, it's a nice little button there that says subscribe. It's free. Go ahead and click that. You know, it's not free. If you want to become a member here to support me on YouTube and trying to stay full-time making content about Critical Role, Dungeons and Dragons, and other nerd culture content, becoming a member costs about $5 a month. That's as much as a cup of coffee. 1 cup of coffee a month to support me doing what I love. So you can become a member here on YouTube or subscribe to my Patreon, linked in the description below. Did you know that we do these every Thursday? And you can come find them in our Discord as well. We have bingo chats about the actual live chat. Everything is in there. Join the Discord. It's linked down below. Spiel is over. Question: what happens when your shadow is snipped? Do they die? Did I miss that? No, we have no idea, Stephanie. They have not told us. Oh, bingo. Mara is found. That's a good one. I don't think Ashley is doing it on purpose, but Bayless gives me more cleric vibes and paladin vibes, especially with the role play. Well, to be fair, I think that people have just moved away from, because you got to think, in older editions of D&D, paladins were kind of cleric-like, and they were very driven by their religion and things like that. They were just more of fighters for faith. And she fits that because she wants her god back. In 5e, paladins became just warriors with a twist. You know, like instead of it being like you are a lawful good, very religious being, paladins are now like, I'm vengeance and I just want to kill stuff. And so, yeah, I think she fits a more traditional paladin vibe, just not what you see in most of your D&D games these days. Do we think Wick's girlfriend crush is still alive? Her sister mentioned her. Yes. I think she hinted that she is, but that she would put a hole in her chest if anything ever happened again. I agree, Chase. I want to know more about Argosia, especially because they seem to be tied to the attack. What's up, Unknown Valor? I think the Halar Snipper shadow, they put a demon soul in and they changed into one of Tyrion's new sisters, but that's just a guess. Merc and Swag, hello, says, I know Tsukonos are the big bad right now, but I really see a world where everyone's efforts pay off and Tsukonos falls, leaving other houses to use the opportunity to make moves. Well, we kind of got hinted at that all the other houses are already making moves, so. Just not as directly evil. Haley says, bingo, dice gets thrown. I love the bingos are coming in now. Heck yeah. Do you think someone on Team Birdwatching will die tonight? I think it is the most likely somebody will die is in this situation. Could help the bird watching group. They don't know they're there though. Shadow is what saves some of the bird watchers. That'd be kind of crazy. Hey, Unknown Valor with the $10 super chat says, someone got out of the box. That was a great reveal. Thoughts? I did love that. And it made so much sense. I think I'm almost positive I said it. I know I thought it, but I'm almost positive I said it. That when they showed up and he said the box was sitting there, and then Olgood was like, I opened it, but there was nothing inside, and it was just sitting there open. I was like, oh, she got out. Olgood opened it and she got out. I like 100%, and then she showed up and it all had, I was like, yeah, there it is. And then Brennan be like, someone got out of the box and they're not supposed to be out of the box. I was like, yeah, she's supposed to be in the box. She got out of the, oh, I love that. That was so cool. Heck yeah. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Was Brennan implying that Primus killed Kat's wife? I don't think it was really implying. He was like, you saw this face. You thought of this face for 6 years until you kind of stopped looking or whatever. That guy has that face. Like that's right. Maybe it ends up being like, oh, it was actually his father or something, not Primus, but Primus's dad. Or but he was like, that's the face. That's the sorcerer who you saw. What's up, Edwin? That reminds me, Brennan said that no, Sid doesn't have daunting roar, but that's a Leon and species trait. Isn't it weird that he lacks that? Yes. I agree. He might have just on the fly been like, no, not thinking about it though, right? Like, he's human. It might have just been like, oh, you know. Yeah, Imgash, that's what a lot of people are thinking, is that it kind of frees for the demons to come in. Glory Be Pro says, with Critical Role having the Darrington Press for books and games, what are the chances they dive into actual plays for Broadway license under the hallowed round? That'd be kind of nuts. That would be kind of nuts. I mean, I don't know if they would do it themselves, right? There already is like, what, the 20-sided tavern or something that travels around and does like live shows like that, I think. But I don't see them being the ones who add another thing that they're traveling around doing tours with. Paladins are now Spirits of X, were before they were Crusaders of X. What is your least favorite fan theory you've heard so far in the campaign? Least favorite? Well, one is the Tyranny is Wick's lover. One. And then the other one would probably be, because it's at top of mind, because somebody brought up earlier that like there's more to Wolfric. Just because, again, Robbie could have been lying, but he's basically come out and been like, it's just a man and his dog. And like, that's, that's it. I know there's one or two others that I didn't get behind. Of course, I was kind of on the side of like, I don't think the theater is like the death trap. I don't know. I don't know what other theories I'm like, this is my least favorite fan theory. I'd have to hear fan theories and then be like, no, yes, no, no, yes, yes, no. I think Brennan was more than implying. He was telling Robbie that this was the guy responsible. Exactly. He was like, that's him. That's his face right there. Bingo. Someone dies in the spooky basement. Double says, I think snipping your shadow takes your soul and you become a slave for the Halavars, and I think that's what happened to Asane's sister. Ooh. August says, if someone has to die, it's going to be Sid, so Taylor has a moment, and pinpoint to launch his character development, probably level up. I could see that. Poll idea, will there be another Convergence episode after tonight? There's only one episode left before they take a week off, and then they take a break for 6 weeks, so I would imagine yes. Because what else? They're going to have one episode of the tables being split and then take 7 weeks off, maybe more. Like, what I'm worried about is it actually going to be 8? Because at first I thought it was 6, but then apparently they're not doing the week before, the July 2nd week, I think, right? And so they're going to start the Umbra from the 9th for 6 weeks, and then it's like, are they going to take a week off after that before they come back to the campaign, or are they going straight into it? Because that could turn into an 8-week. That's a 2-month break from the campaign. Full 2 months of nothing. I'm gonna die. Like I'm not gonna. Yeah. I'm gonna go get a job for 2 months. Yo, what's up, Chloe? Does anyone know the party game King of the Castle? That moment when Primus named all the other houses, Grand Plan felt very much like I've never heard of that. Kisses. When the box was open, because he did those wigs first, it was thought it was like extra lice filled. Yeah. Personally disagree with Khan. My human vengeance paladin, Burgon, the bold sworn oath to kill all chromatic dragons to the god Telos. He promptly took the paw of a white dragon. Clerics are healer, dealing ritual, and paladins do more than sudden outbursts of faith, if that makes sense. I mean, people have different interpretations of it. For sure. We already did that poll, actually, Huffdead. You missed it. It was up for like 2 hours. Oh, 2 hours. Sorry. It was up for like 20 minutes. And the winner, so it was like 40-something percent Taor, and then just behind it, like 37% or something like that was Thimble. They were the two high numbers, and then Octus was like 3%, and Julian was like 17%, with like 130 votes or something. Least favorite fan theory is that Azune is a double agent who will betray everyone. Really? I think that could happen. I think that could happen. Or at least there's definitely a big part of Azune's past. I think he's connected to a family in some way. That's my guess. I think he's connected to a family. What if Kat's wife and daughter didn't actually die? Their shadows just got stolen, therefore they have control over them. Kat couldn't track anything anywhere. There was nothing to track, right? I think it's certainly possible that like they're not dead or their souls are somewhere, but also like I could totally see that they're just dead and their souls are somewhere. David says least favorite fan theory is one of the PCs becoming God. It was good to hear in the cooldown last week that Brennan was indeed trying to dissuade their theater fearmonger without blatantly saying their theory was wrong. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit ago. Forgot it was Thursday. Yeah, buddy, Matthew over on TikTok. Yeah, buddy. In regards to Wolfric, Jaded says, I don't think he's anything crazy, but in episode 1, Taisha tried to speak with animals, and Belam said, if you try to do this, it'll be the second bit of powerful magic you touch tonight. That's true. I'm just curious, because of what was said and the fact that we saw Wolfric as a pup in the flashback and all these other things that I'm like, is Robbie outright lying in the interviews instead of avoiding it? And then there's the, he was just a little pup. I don't know. Daniel, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do we think we will see Azune's sister before the end of the Convergence? No. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get any of that. I think that will probably be something he tries to figure out in the next arc. I think there may be something where they try to find them to like provide proof or figure out who's connected, to try to point fingers at the Halavars for setting it up and stuff like that. I think that's a potential arc. I don't think it'll happen in the next 2 episodes. Mm-mm, 2 months so sad. Yeah, I know. Gonna have to DM a lot of one shots. True. I think Brennan tried to tantalize expectations that they're being bad for weeks. Paint and Pigments should have put their fears to rest. They should have beat up the Bird team. I agree. But they were just set. They were convinced that this was like what it all was. And he tried to like gently guide them and they didn't pick it up. You know, the Bird Watchers took the potion with them to deal with getting turned to stone by a basilisk. I don't know if they have that. Yeah, I don't know. What if Sid isn't Sid? I know Taylor quizzed him after freeing, but his mind could have been read with a daunting roar. Oh, I don't know. I really feel like it's Sid. Totally watching Umbra, so I don't go through Critical Role withdrawal. Plus, I enjoyed first. Well, this one isn't the main cast. It's just Matt's DMing it and Laura's playing. The rest of the cast is not the Critical Role team. But I'm sure it'll be good. If Austin is anything but sweet and loyal, I will actually go insane. Yeah, I think he's part of one of the other families. I don't know if it's the Oberdemian, but I think it could be one of the other two houses that fell, that fought with the fought alongside the Taconis and Halavars, and on Tensel's side, I think he might have been one of those two houses. Do a few other things too during summer, but it's definitely drought. Yeah, that's 2 months is gonna kill me. Felton, yeah, Dispel. I think he's related to one of the two houses that fell. Again, if you guys haven't already subscribed, you haven't clicked that sub button, it's free to do. You'll see more of my content. So definitely click that sub button. I think we're just about at 11,100. Let me double check. But yeah, we passed it. We're at 11,110. Also, if at any point you guys want to watch a video about the latest changes that happened to the new Druid subclass, Circle of the Titan, I just released a video on it, and it is flopping hard. It's only like 5.5 minutes, wouldn't take you any time. So at some point, please, God, watch that video and give it a thumbs up, because it's been out for 5 hours and has less than 200 views. I might delete it. Taylor has a resistance potion. I'm pretty sure one of the petrification potions was given to Taylor, and I thought Julian also had one left over for Tanazar. Yeah, it would be kind of cool if he's from. I do think he's related to one of the houses. What do you think of the Age of Umber character designs? They were cool. I mean, it's very different, right? Because they have like fungal creatures and all those sorts of things, right? Like the species in that are very different. Or what do they call them? Ancestries. I miss Matt being DM. Still getting used to Brennan Lee Mulligan after a decade of Matt. Yeah, I'm sure it takes a little to get used to. I watched it. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's what check before going. It's not that big of a deal if you didn't thumbs up. And I mean, if you opened it and you watched it all the way through, you did your part, right? Like that sort of thing. Yeah. Retention, click-through rate and retention are the two things I'm looking for. So if you see it and you click it, that helps. If you watch it all the way through after you clicked it, that helps. 280 people watching here, only 58 likes. People, click the thumbs up under the video, guys. Come on. Click it. Prefer Matt as player personally. Interesting to see how he handles things. I love him as a player. I also love him as a DM. I don't know that I prefer him as a player, but I think I'm happy to watch him in both positions. I agree. I actually love how he tries to handle things. I love his role play. I love how he can kind of switch between different modes and stuff. It's all fantastic. But I also love him as a DM. Wants everyone to leave the stream and watch it. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Ritual opening the afterlives for the orcs and perhaps elves weaken the Taconis, but probably them more undead. I don't think so, because I don't think they were there. I think they were in the river, right? I think that was like an Asgra thing. So I'm not sure that it would connect in that way. Like the video. Thank you, Sag. Thank you. Do you think any of the PCs should switch tables in the next arcs? I was saying after the Seekers arc, I was very much saying the Seekers needed to, after the Seekers arc, I was like, they need to split up. I've enjoyed them more in the Convergence. All of the characters I've enjoyed much more in the Convergence, which again kind of backs my plan of like they are so much better with other characters than together. So I think the Seekers should split up. That's my main thing. Lettuce is I want to see the Seekers split into different groups. Watch like the first comment. Let's go. Starting with campaign 4, I've probably seen Brennan DMing more Critical Role overall than has seen with Matt. That's true. You started with 4. You also watch the new Dimension 20, and so yeah, you get a lot of Brennan. Been behind watch things, trying to speed focus on the next animatic. No, totally fair. Totally fair, Dispel. I hope it's all going well. Jaeger, making it late. Sorry if this has been discussed. Do you think the Summer Night song will have anything to do with the Doors of Fairy opening? I don't think it would make sense that it does. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I guess my answer would be no. Also, welcome in. Is this the last episode before the break? No, I think we get one more. I think we get one more, and then they take off the week of July 2nd, and then they're starting Age of Umber July 9th. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I know you guys looked at the calendar last week. But, yeah. Sorry, I forgot. All good. All good. Yo, what's up? I'm Bibe Next Tech. I hope I'm saying that right. What if Azune was a changeling? That'd be kind of cool. But then he wouldn't need to do all this other stuff he's doing. Seekers are better apart from each other. 100% agree. 100% agree. Berzinger says, lost my mind when Volkan Mirzot was in the audience. Yeah, when they saw the little ghost there, I immediately was like, well, I didn't know it was him. I thought it was just going to be like a bunch of the spirits are going to watch the play. And then it was like, oh, that's him. Is it a big... Oh, wait. It is a big leap of faith to not have the main campaign for 2 months. I know they're figuring it's summer, but campaign 4 is already so different they risk losing viewers. Or not, who knows? No, I agree. I agree. You're always running the risk of people not being able to bounce or return. Like, they kind of get distracted. They forget. However, it also gives people who fell behind the chance to catch up. So live viewership may actually not change because you're going to have some attrition, but you're also going to have people who caught up. However, that doesn't mean the overall views would still be down some. It's just you wouldn't see it in the live views because it would be like higher because people caught up, if that makes sense. Yo, Lethal, thanks so much for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Thank you. Also, anybody on YouTube, if you happen to have Amazon Prime, that means you have Twitch Prime. If you go to twitch.tv/nerdcoregg, you can give me your Prime sub for free. It helps me out tremendously, and it costs you nothing. Literally free for you, and it helps me out. So if you got Amazon Prime, you got Twitch Prime, head on over, subscribe on Twitch. As from there is another episode next week. Yes, next week, but not the week after, right? Yeah, we'll get the 25th. We skip the 2nd, and then they start Age of Umber on the 9th, I believe is how it goes. Yeah, see, David says, gives people time to catch up too, though. Yeah. What benefit to our birds does saving the orcs natural life or as we provide, I wonder? Probably none. Me personally, I like the Seekers together. I would say that the soldiers really... Fair. Oh, my fair. God. Dragon Drake. Oh, you became a member. Thank you. Were you a member before and this is a re-up or is this a new one? What? Welcome to level 1 character. Hey, let's go. Shadzin, thank you for following over on Twitch. He hasn't seen Calamity. I have not, Bryce. I have not. I'm terrible. And I haven't seen Calamity. I think about watching it all the time, but there's just not enough. I wanted to keep watching Natural 6 as well. Like, I really enjoyed Natural 6. I think they got a cool cast. It's fun. It's playful. It's good story, good role play. And, there's just but so much I can watch and keep up with. I think one of the downsides is when you're watching Critical Role, it takes up so much more time than all the other actual plays that it's tough. It's almost like they take the full market share of my time. And I'm like, I can't go watch another 2-hour actual play. I can't go watch an hour. Again, I could do Dungeon Masters during that because it was like an hour long each. But yeah. What? Melanie Gravel, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. Appreciate that. Show us begin the Atlanta live show broadcast soon. Oh, true. Megan Hoyt, thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thanks for the subs, guys. Welcome. We need a name for us, guys. I guess we just call you nerds, right? Like you just be like, welcome to you're a nerd now, all right? Like that could, like for the community, it would just be nerds. They didn't make a Schemers table recap, right? Oh, I don't remember. I feel like they did. Nerdlings? Oh, I kind of like that. Nerdlings? Who do you think should stay in the Seekers, or who do you think should be the new Seekers lineup? I don't really care that much when it comes to that. I just think the current group should be split up. I'm down for Valus and Octus to stay together. I would be down probably for Taisha and Julian to stay together. I just don't want that four. I'm down to split in all sorts of ways. Just not that four. And if I sat down and really thought about it a bunch, maybe I'd have something more specific and be like, oh, I want like this two pairing I don't want, but the rest of them I could deal with or something. But like top of mind, that's my answer there. How do you think, also, what's up, Rocky Sports? How do you think Julian at a soldier's table would feel? Core group of Thimble, Cadigan, Taylor, Julian, not sure on the fifth, maybe with a split Seekers in two, and maybe have Valus in the crew. They have no real spellcasters there. That's all marshals. I mean, it's cool in that regard that it's just a bunch of people like swinging their weapons, but I don't know. I feel like that's just putting the cool characters together. I also think Ozane is a Draconic Sorcerer. Yeah, I think most people do. Best friend fell behind and is going to use the break to catch up. Yeah. I definitely get that. Definitely a possibility there. I think the Stone Night Song is directly tied to fairy doors. Brennan stated that a fairy was used in the afterlife of elves, so it makes sense. I was fairy simple. Directly tied to, I mean, was that like if fairy? So the Stone of Night Song was used by or from, it was taken from the person who was the first celestial to fairy humans, right? No, elves to the afterlife. So unless fairy is the afterlife, I'm not sure if I'm following that connection. Okay, the Woods of Forest started coming back to life, and all the dead elves were taken to fairies since they didn't have an afterlife. So, yeah. So I mean, there's certainly. You guys might be right about that. I'd have to probably put more brain power into thinking how I feel about that.
What?
A nerd 9719 subscribe to the channel. What's up, nerd? Also gives Daggerheart a chance to snag some C4 viewers. Umbra, that is. Yeah. That's just so long without this. Love the channel, by the way. Thanks, Nathan. Appreciate it. Love that you love it. Hope you're doing well. Thanks, Webbers. Welcome in, dude. What's up, B2M? I assume they'll be doing interviews leading up to the return of Arc 2. I don't know, man. Yeah. I have friends that like binging shows. They're waiting for a good time to start so they can power through to a good point. This is so different than binging a show to me, though. Right? A show had one episode a week, and those episodes were 30 minutes to like an hour. Each of these is like 3.5 to 5 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like that's so tough. So for the guy that didn't do that yet, hey, appreciate it. I've always rewatch episodes during downtime. Helps me appreciate and understand the story more. Totally fair. Calamity Super. Oh, I've been told a million times. I've done it several times. I forgot to actually join. Oh, no worries, Dragon Drake. I was, for some reason, I was like, I wonder if that's, so maybe that's what I was thinking because I thought you remember. But appreciate all of it, dude. Appreciate all of it. What's up, Bryce? Literally peak D&D. Is that just referencing Campaign 4 in general, or was there something else? Almost 300 peeps. Oh, nice. Heck yeah. Yeah, we broke 300 2 or 3 weeks ago, and then we've kind of pushed up to like 290-ish the last couple. I have been getting into Natural 6. Thanks for the recommendation. I've really enjoyed it. Again, it can be a little slow to start because they're like some of them don't really know how to play. But once they get into it, oh man. Natural 6 is incredible. Feels like peak home game and all the exactly. It gives more of that home feel vibe. A home 100%. It's like a home game in a lot of ways, which I really enjoy. Hey, no problem. Hey. Yeah, definitely appreciate you and the other folks for subscribing to the YouTube. Hope this episode we get Ozane subclass. I forgot he never told us. Oh, true. Min-Max has a pretty fun story going. I haven't watched that. I'm watching Adventure 4. They are so good. I've chatted with one of their people before. He's in a creator Discord I'm in. I can't remember Or I guess 2 of them are in there. Sir Rodnus is in there, so I guess I've talked to him a little bit, and then one of the other. Oh, Russ. I've tuned into some of their stuff. I've tuned in a couple of times. I've never committed to like fully watching anything other than Critical Role. Again, I watched episodes. I started Natural Six when it launched. I was like, I'm gonna watch this from the beginning, and then after a certain number of episodes, I ended up missing, and then I just never got back in. I still follow them and like look at their stuff, and I'm glad they're doing well and whatnot. I mean, the Cloak was interesting, and the Cloak very anti-Ticonus. Well, they're anti-Sundered Houses. They were just tracking all the things the Sundered Houses were doing, and that's why they were able to jump in and do that. Clan-based PTD. Oh, gotcha, Bryce. Heck yeah. Understood. Paul says, any way that the play is a ceremony to resurrect Asgra. Sage Jews make sacrifices to cover him in orc blood. No, I think what the play ended up being is what we saw. I think that because we already knew Sul Rekshi altered the blood in a way that would no longer make it a prison to the orc souls that were in it. Then, excuse me, during the play, all that stuff happens, and all of a sudden the orc souls come out and they get freed. I think that's exactly what it was supposed to be. Oh, the Kobold character from now says, oh, I, the Kobold Rogue. I, the character, not the me. Oh, I love that. I loved it so much, Daniel. He's so fun. He makes good decisions sometimes. He makes fun decisions. Just overall, a really cool character. I, the Kobold Rogue. I can't wait to see the aftermath of the meeting of the Sundered Houses. I know the Kona sisters said cooler heads, but I kind of got some red wedding vibes. Yeah, when they were like, yeah, guys, I know that we've basically been lying to you and we just got caught in all this stuff, but hey, we made dinner. You guys down for some dinner? Like, no, absolutely not. That's crazy. Nerdlings is cute, but I like calling us nerds more. Totally valid. Talk nerdy to me. Nerd's probably trademarked by Candy. I mean, I don't need a trademark, you know? Like, maybe if I put, like, on a shirt, but I'm sure I don't think you can trademark the word nerd, right? I just feel like that's too broad of a thing, but I don't know. I do have NERDCORE merch. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but it's linked down below. I have NERDCORE merch. You can get my little logo. This logo here you can get on a shirt. There's also some other cool shirts that I think are cool. Nobody's ever gotten one. But there is some cool merch there. There's I said I cast Fireball with a cool little thing. There's also Charisma is my dump stat shirt. I mean, come on, Charisma is my dump stat. That's pretty cute. There's a shirt that has all 10s with like strength, con, dex, whatever, and it says I'm pretty average, and it's all 10s across the stats. I think that's pretty cute too. I think that's pretty cute. Hold on. I know this isn't what we're here for, but really quick, there's the I'm pretty average with all the 10s. I also love the because you're down to 1 health bar left right there. I think that's pretty awesome. The Charisma is my dump stat right there. So these are all in my merch shop. Then there's a different version with Charisma is my dump stat. Dungeons and then the dragon head on the side. That's fire. Yeah. So just a little thing right there. Then there's the NERDCORE stuff right there. All right. And we'll be giving out the bingo board here in a minute. Any last minute cold open guesses? I wonder if we'll get another flashback instead of just cutting straight to a group. Oh, I'd be like, yo, Parody Steve, where you been, bud? Hard time docking the ship? One of my Moonshroud on Twitch says, one of my current favorite ships is Tyranny and Wikander. Do you have any thoughts on this pairing? I think Tyranny has developed feelings for Wikander. I don't think they're currently returned. Melanie says, Whitney Mortis said in Discord, happy Thursday, everyone. Don't worry, that shot of me crying is just because Brennan wouldn't share his almonds. So they went to Fairy. Oh, got it, Dr. Calvin. Okay. Slaindrew was married to the King of Fairy, wasn't she? I feel like that sounds about right. I'm kind of remembering that. How much has your tier list changed from the first couple of episodes to now? Oh, I did a whole nother tier list. I did a Overture tier list, and then I did a pre-Convergence tier list. So after all the arcs, and there were changes there. And now there would probably be some more changes because I think Octus might have moved up slightly for me. I still think I'm waiting for more Teor. Cadigan probably stayed the same, and there's an argument to maybe even move him a little bit. Well, I don't know. The funny moments were there. I think Taisha's been, again, I think the Seekers, all the Seekers, like, I think Valus is still not what she was in the Overture, but at least we're seeing more of her in different ways, different lights. So I think Octus moved for me. Julian probably stayed the same. Yeah, I don't know. But there was a second one. Also, for anybody who was interested in that merch stuff, I just threw it in there. Have the same colors and design. Oh, well, I mean, either way. You guys, I'm just calling you guys the nerds. When you join the community, you're a member of the nerds, okay? Accept it. You're a nerd. We got 21 people on Twitch right now. That's pretty cool. We're at 287 on YouTube. Well, we're at 287 on the horizontal YouTube. We're at 8 on the vertical. I have no idea about TikTok. And then we got over 24 on Twitch. Nice. Thanks for being here, guys. If you haven't already followed on Twitch and TikTok, go ahead and click that follow button. If you haven't already subbed on YouTube, click that sub button. I think it's pretty clear that Wick is definitely going to be the schemers this next go around. I think it's, yeah, with him being set up to like stay in the town and like spy on his grandmother, I think it's very likely Kelly, yeah. Which characters that have interacted much yet do you think would have interesting dynamics? I want to see more of Azune and Julian, for sure. For sure.
What?
MBM, thanks for that follow over on Twitch. I do these pre-shows every Thursday that there's an episode, by the way. Unfortunately, they're about to go on a like 7 or 8 week hiatus from the main campaign. Maybe I'll still do these for Age of Umbra. I don't know. But I do these all the time. So if you want more of these, go ahead and follow and subscribe. Possibly break for me. No, I don't think it was planned for that. I think they were already going to do their summer break. I think they normally do. And who knows? Maybe her, you know, she has maybe during that time. Maybe she doesn't. I don't know how far along she is. On the 8-week break. If you haven't watched Calamity, Downfall, Divergence, that would make a great stretch of time to do a watch through review. Oh, that's very true. That's true. But I'm thinking, so yes, I can enjoy that on my own at that time. I need to find a way to make money during that time. Right? To be blunt, it's like without 8 weeks of no recaps, no extra videos, no pre-shows like that, it's not good for business. So I gotta figure that out. Glad you're shouting at Natural Six. Such a great story and players that deserve more attention. I agree. They've been fantastic. I've been enjoying Dungeon Dude Season of Silence. They're easing into it, but I'm enjoying the characters. I haven't watched that. I've said before, I haven't ever really gotten into their vibe, but could give it a shot. Calamity is amazing. Yeah, everybody loves Calamity. I've never heard anybody say anything like that. Cover Age of Umbra? No, I mean, I might. It's just not going to do anywhere near the same. But I will. I'm certainly open to it. I'm certainly open to it. I think Azune might be a Kalashtar, the half-dream species from Eberron, based on his level up scene in the Schemers arc. It's a small theory, though. Hey, who knows? Hephaestus, also welcome in. Wizard Witch and the Wild One, Dyslexia, OP. What do you not like the Seeker's Table? I just didn't, and I think most people didn't from any poll or survey I did. It was, to me, it was, I'm sorry for the people who are hearing this for the 100th time, but it's been a while since I've said this. It was only serious. There was never levity. It was serious the whole way through. They always talked in hushed voices. They talked slow. They repeated the same stuff. It was just like it was just like this the whole time of just, oh, I'm serious and I'm hushed voices and I'm like, oh God, somebody smile. So that was my complaint. And the bingo cards, I'm throwing them in the chat, guys. If you click that link, you will get the option to generate. I will throw it up on the screen real quick. So what you'll do is when you click that link, it'll pop up like this and you'll go generate card. And then you'll get a version of this with different ones. That's how you do it. All you have to do is click when something is done on this and it will do it. There is a channel in the Discord, which I will take you to now. And this is courtesy of Jaded, by the way. So everybody say thank you, Jaded, for putting in the work for this. Jaded deserves the credit. This is not me. This is Jaded came to me with it, and I was like, absolutely, let's give people something cool to do in the Discord in the community. So let's, and then I'll show you guys right here. Discord server, Bingo Critical Role. That is where you will paste your screenshots if you want to show your bingo card off. Also, Jaded, if you have the option, maybe if you click on this, you can remove embed and then people won't click this. You guys have to click the actual link. Because if you click this, it will just open the basic bingo baker. Okay? You have to click the one that is set up in order to get the actual link. So just a fun fact for you guys. And it will create a specific thing, but generate, and it'll make yours random, so yours won't look like mine, sort of thing. But there you go. That is how you can do it. Join the Discord. All you have to do when you join, make sure you select actual plays. D&D if you like D&D, but make sure you select the actual plays role, because then you will see these channels. And you also get the Critical Role live chat, where every week we sit in here and we talk about it live during the actual episode. So you can join in and talk about that there. But yeah, there you go. Somebody's already shared it. We do Critical Role bingo. If you want to participate, jump on in the Discord. It is linked in the description down below. Better late than never. What's up, Gorbash? Always no notification from YouTube. Hope you're all good. Hey, well, welcome in anyway. Do you think we haven't seen the other Cloak members because they've been sabotaging when the house? Well, they're called the Cloak and they're pretty mysterious. So I imagine we haven't seen them because we just haven't been introduced. They haven't revealed themselves, but something like that could come soon. I'd love to see some of the other ones. Bradley Venture is also good. Nice, Jordan. Heck yeah. What campaign were you introduced to Critical Role? I've watched some of all of them. I never got heavy into it until 4. Right? Like, I've started 1 and watched to a point. I've started 2 and watched to a point. I didn't start 3, but I watched parts of 3. I was there for when Fresh Cut Grass died. Like, I was watching that live, you know, as that happened. I've been very in and out. This is my first fully committed one. Yeah. Don't get him started on Seekers. Hey, it's been a while, David. It's been a while since I've talked about them. I love Brennan playing Terminus. Same, Samuel. Super spooky. Oh, yeah. Jaded, I will change the pen. Remove it. I am pinning the bingo link in that channel, guys. So if you are interested, there is that. It is pinned in there, so you don't have to search through to find it. It is in the bingo channel pinned, which means in the top, you'll see a little like tack pin. Just click that. It'll be there. Brzinger says Nerdcore is also the name of a genre of rap. I found that out after I decided to be called Nerdcore for all of my content creation, which sometimes I still debate. Maybe I should have just been Steven or something, but I wanted to be a brand more than a person. I don't know if that was the right call, but it was where my mind was at, was to be like a media thing versus me. So I did that. But yeah, I found out about Nerdcore being like a 8-bit rap sort of thing after that. Mr. Flo says, Demons of Cadigan cold open. I could see that. Yeah. Roll with Her is a quick 45-minute or so news show, girl-centric, but entertaining. Heck yeah. Maybe a Julian flashback involving Theosny and Azune. I would love that, Daniel. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Can you imagine if the cold open is where Whitney cries? Like, she's Wixold, love is killed, sacrifice, etc. That'd be kind of neat. All right. I know I'm very behind in the chat. So, Nerdcore's nice. I recommend the guys of Nerdcore Front Line, the Darkness Hillside, Scruffy Nerders. Shout out you freaky verticals people. Heck yeah. Going back to the 3D printer. Have a fun watch. Hey, peace out, Samuel. Just woke up. Well, good morning, New Knot. I would love to see another crew with Murray and Timony. That'd be cool, Mara. I'm down for that. Your recaps are super helpful. I look forward to them as much as episodes. They really help me process long episodes. Thank you, Elijah. I'm glad you enjoy them. If you're not already subscribed, click that sub button. Live and flowing. Yeah, I probably will. I'll probably keep it going. Ramethus, Nerdcore. Yeah. Folks will come watch a new Calamity review via Nerd for real. Okay. Say No Drummer starts July 9th. Also my birthday. Yeah. Saying Calamity content would do so well. Okay. Could do a Calamity watch along during the break. Well, I can't stream me watching it, can I? So it would just have to be like making like, I just watched the first episode, here's my thoughts sort of thing. Brendan looks at the type that would put down all the crap that changed the world because of player action. Yeah, maybe. 5-hour live stream reacts to Calamity on Twitch. What's the over-under on everyone making out the Dakota's Manor alive? I don't know. I feel like this is the closest to death we're going to get. I don't know if we're actually going to get it, but I think it's going to be close. I think Bria actually had her baby in the last couple of days. Oh, wow. Okay, nice. currently with campaign 4, but around episode 90 of 3. Should I try and finish 3 with this break coming up? If you're caught up with current campaign 4, why not? But I mean, that's a lot, you know. All right. You just throw caution to the wind and make channel old school top 10 videos. We're getting close to the time, so I'm trying to catch up on the chat so I don't miss anything. Again, guys, join if you want the bingo. If you want to join bingo, Discord is linked to the description down below. Join the bingo chat. Quite a few of you joining. Welcome in, welcome in. And you can post your bingo cards, just screenshot it, you know, use the snipping tool or something. And go ahead and throw that in there. And then you can also do, you know, when you fill some up, when you do whatever, you can do that as well. Peace out, double. Should I call it NERDCORE? Nice. We just ride 50 minutes before start. Perfect time order. Let's go. Great. Look forward to nerd content almost as much as CR content. Almost. Hey, dude, I'll take what I can get from you, David. Have a great stream. Thank you, Nathan. Morg says, I got the impression that Hal was some distance away when he saw Vulcan Mirzot, but they were suddenly having a conversation to misinterpret the scene. No, I think he just allowed it. Yeah, he definitely wasn't standing next to him. No, he was like back, like side curtain casting spells. CR, sorry. Hey, sounds good, Dragon. Thank you. Please do another live after Convergence ends and some theory vids. Oh, definitely. We'll definitely do that. Also, guys, if I can make one request, if you haven't already subscribed, all that sort of stuff, consider becoming a member. But I did a video today covering a new subclass update for the Druid, the Circle of Titan, that they just released today with an update for it from the Unearthed Arcana. It's not doing well. It's about 5.5 minutes long. If you guys would go click it, let it go all the way through, would mean a lot to me. Even if not right now, just in the future. But we are past the normal time, so go get your snacks ready, go to the restroom, get yourself ready, join the Discord, link down below. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll figure out what the content is looking like for the future.